Hey friends, Rational Bassist here with a video speculating on an aspect of episode 4. If you do not want spoilers of any kind, we're going to be talking about things that have already been made known by Hinterland. Still, if you've been trying to avoid that, this is your cue. For the rest of us, we're going to talk about where Black Rock Penitentiary may be. We've been told that episode 4 is going to involve Black Rock Penitentiary, probably Will trying to escape. I actually am not sure. I think that's basically what they said. But we're going to explore an area that has changed a little over time. And we are in build 1.56 49966 Steadfast Ranger. You don't see the emblem we used to see for Steadfast Ranger. This is time capsule. This is probably the most stable version of that they had. And that's why this version. We're going to do Pilgrim because we don't care about wildlife. We're going to do Pleasant Valley. Don't care about anything else. And we're going to jump in. It's probably going to put me in the barn. And we're going to need to run over to the farmhouse. Farmhouse it is. That's excellent. So let's have a look at the known world. I saw a Reddit post recently speculating that Black Rock Penitentiary would be right here. It seems reasonable. I don't know why you say right here as opposed to right here. Just because we think, for example, at the end of episode 1, or in episode 1, or before episode 1, the bus crashes, the prison bus, during the Aurora. There's a struggle between prisoners and prison staff. And also, Astrid comes into contact with all these folks at this, some kind of the tunnel, and goes into Pleasant Valley. Now, we don't know where that bus actually started. It seemed like it was actually, if I'm remembering, the back of the bus was pointed left to right, and the tunnel into Pleasant Valley was left to right. So I would say they were driving into Pleasant Valley. That could put them here, heading this way. They were already in orange jumpsuits. I don't know. This is a lot of spitballing. It could also be up here. But for sake of argument, I'm just going to tell you, whether it's here or right here, I think it's connected to Pleasant Valley. And this is where we come in. We're at the farmhouse. That is fortunate. I'm going to do a little off mapping. And we're going to have a look at something in Steadfast Ranger that is no longer in Hesitant Prospect. I'm going to show you the area first. And we're in front of the farmhouse. The road is over here. And then you head to the long curve if you run all the way down the road. If you actually head this way, there's a frozen creek. By the way, there's a bear. There's a number of bear spawns in Pleasant Valley. They're not all active. I think I usually find like 4 of the 7 or 8 are active, but your mileage may vary. There's a bear that usually spawns in a cave below a rope across the road. There is another bear that spawns across this frozen creek. There's a little bear hutch. And then over there, going down the road, is the long curve. So we're going to have to run ourselves all the way over here. I'm going to show you what we're looking for. And then on re-examination, I'm going to give you a slower explanation of how to get here. But if you're comfortable just following along, then I guess you have it. Now, there are aspects of this that I can't help but explain. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now. This area is going to be off map. I was not the first person to find this. It was shown to me by somebody else who asked to not be given credit for it. I didn't create it. They don't want credit, so I'm just going to tell you this is a thing that's in the game. Fair enough? There's the bear. Bear has a little nook in the back. You can sleep back there. I shot this bear right before my 10-year run, or right at the end of the 10-year run, and then slept in the back of that cave for a while. We're going to run over here. What the heck? I'll just show you now. And then we'll rush through at the end and do a comparison. How about that? Okay, so we're looking for those cattails, really. Then we're gonna run over here, up this way. I may pass time. We'll just do that now to get sprint back. And run all the way back here. You can actually run a little further up and get closer in, but I ran further out. Just for demonstration purposes, though, it helps to run from this side. Okay. So we're going to be climbing, we're going to be scaling this, working our way across, and then up and over. The way we do that is through this little nook. I don't know if you can see it. But straight ahead, there's this little dent in the snow. We're going to climb up that. Sprains will happen. Bring bandages if you care about that. Okay, I may have showed you the wrong dent. I will make good on that in a second. Let's get as high up as we can. You can't actually get behind this tree, so you just need to hug it. And you'll know you're on the right path right here if you bump into this at all. Or this. Good. Alright, so right here, yes, this is the right dent. You can actually climb up it, kind of work your way up. He's not loving it, but we still have our ankles, so we're going to use them while we have them. Stay high. Don't drop low at all. And then once you get up here to this little incline, right here, you'll start to be able to climb upward.
I don't feel so good.
Like so. And you can see that we're off map. If you drop off map and if you hit anything, even like a stray texture on your way down, that happens to me when I off map in Coastal Highway a lot, you're going to splat. You're going to die. If you don't hit anything, every region has a reset point and you'll end up somewhere. And we'll talk about that in a second. But instead of dropping off, we're going to wrap our way around, realizing that we passed the long curve to go across this stream, back this way, and there's this road. And it just leads nowhere now. Right? This has been here for a very long time, and we used to speculate, given where Will was heading and what Jeremiah had told him, that this would actually take you to Perseverance Mill. We have been told, well, actually, I mean, episode 3, the fact that Astrid heads out into Coastal Highway, we know that that is no longer true. Is it possible that this somehow relates to Blackrock? That's my theory. We can't see it anymore. Where does it actually go? What's it all about, Alfie? I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. Where would this take us? I have no clue. But we're going to drop off so I can show you something cool, and then we're going to check out Hesitant Prospect. I may have did myself a disservice. Not every day you get to walk through a road, by the way. Alright. We're going to drop. Now, every area has a reset point. And this is Steadfast Ranger before the plane crash in Pleasant Valley. Where this used to reset was the exit to Timberwolf Mountain. So you could absolutely use this little area to get away from going to Skeeter Ridge, which was slightly more annoying. You didn't have that log branch. But if you were over encumbered and tried to use this, in my experience, it would just straight up kill you. Just to maybe show you from a different perspective that it is the road to Timberwolf Mountain. So you can see there's the rope. Then we'll have the abandoned prepper cache overhead. I'll show you that the reset place has changed as well. It's not crucial to our goal, but there is the broken out building. There is the shelter. We're going to go ahead and dive him off this cliff, and then we're going to check at Hesitant Prospect for comparison. Welcome back to these here modern times. We're back in Hesitant Prospect. Same thing as before. We're going to fire up a Pleasant Valley file. Hopefully our luck holds and we start in the farmhouse. Cross those fingers. Cross them. Were you crossing them? So, look, I've already showed you the roadway. So we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to ask you to take my word for it this time. And I'll take us over to the farmhouse, or even better, the creek, and we'll pick it up there. All right, here we are. We're going to make our next trip up. And while we're heading up there, nothing will have changed in terms of how we get up there. We're just looking for the end result to see if that road is missing. And it was last time I checked, which was honestly probably Errant Pilgrim. I'm going to point out Grey Mother in episode 1 asks you to check the tunnel. And when there's the crash and the avalanche, in very vague terms says that that's not the only way, it's just the only way for Grey Mother. I'd like to take this opportunity to point out that Will never inquires further about anything in this story. It's like he's saying, well, I don't want to spoil anything for myself. So nobody ever says Pleasant Valley, and he never says, why? What's on the other side? It just is what it is. You just, well, we'll find out when we're supposed to, I guess. Also, to revisit what I said about the map, sorry, Will, I know the cold is making your head feel thick. We could debate whether they were taking this route or this route when there was a passenger manifest, whether they were new convicts being taken to the prison, which seems likely, or something else. You know what? It can be, we took them out to do work detail. It could be anything. And you could explain that away with like a whole sentence, a whole one. So if I were to figure out exactly what the story was right now, and they've discovered that, and they were spoiler averse, they could get like the guy who does Mathis's voice to record one line via Skype and write a different paragraph, and that would be it. Maybe write one of those notes. So there really is no point in speculating. There's no point in worrying about what the actual story is. We'll know soon enough. It's just a question of, is this in any way relevant? And PV seems to be the answer. But you can see now the road is gone. And the area has been slightly terraformed. And the question is why? What changed? Certainly, they have left other little spoilery areas in. The semi is still there. So was it that too many of us were streaming it once upon a time and clipping it? Or did they change this area somehow at the episode 3 stage and say, oh, let's take that out to avoid spoiling, or because we're not going to use this area like we intended. Maybe this was the site of the original Perseverance Mills. Maybe they're going to make some subtle changes to PV that makes this Black Rock prison and the edge of PV. How is this road tied in? What is it going to be replaced with? What is the story? I have lots of questions, no answers. All I'm very confident in saying is that I think PV is tied to Black Rock. We're going to walk in here a little bit and see what else we can discern. But I would tell you, it's not based on evidence. It's not based on things I have seen in the game so much as speculation based on Raphael's narrative story, like his storytelling. I can very much see Will in episode 4, escaping Black Rock Prison and making his way through Pleasant Valley, heading down to Thompson's Crossing, running into Father Thomas and learning, oh, Astrid was here. There will have to be like some missteps first because nothing's ever like straightforward with this story. That choice he made that he did for us, you know, all of that. There would have to be at least one like miscommunication, and then we'd find out that Father Thomas had seen Astrid, right? It can't just be straightforward. We had like 3 missions in episode 1 where it was like, are you talking about Astrid? No, I'm talking about Lilith. So I promise you, whatever it is, it's not going to be straightforward. But to finish this up, no more road. And now, when we jump off of the map, we end up at the plane crash site. No longer Timberwolf Mountain. I don't know why the zone resets point was, why it became this area. I don't know anything about how they designate spawn points, reset points, any of that. That's a question for a coder. All I know is this is new and almost not even worth it. But it can be worth it in other regions. Let's just say that. But that is an off-map adventure for another time. So hopefully this video has given you something to think about. I hope you find it interesting. I hope you're excited for episode 4. I certainly am. And please, God, do not feel the need to come back 9 months from now after episode 4 and say, you're wrong. This is what happened. Paste in the story. Well, you don't say. On behalf of the Tabbies, this is Rational Basis saying I will see you all around the bend. Cheers.